I'm so excited for you to get to meet Sherri Somers-Bell today. She is incredible. She's actually in the mastermind, and she is so, I mean, some of the story, the pieces of her story that you're going to hear today are going to warm your heart and get you so energized. So I'm so excited for you to meet her. I want to give her a little introduction, and then I'm going to let her say hey to y'all too. You're just going to love getting to meet Sherri. So Sherri revolutionizes the way that women in finance think about themselves and how they attract money by giving them the tools that they need to turn their financial experience into a sustainable business. It's the kind of impact that not only benefits themselves, but also their audience too. And Sherri has actually been featured on CNN, NBC, Black Women Magazine, Women to Follow in 2023, and many more. And she is the founder of Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference, which she's actually going to tell you a little bit of a story about. Is really, really cool. So she is teaching women how to learn to make, manage, and multiply their money. She specifically works with people in the financial and insurance industry, right, Sherri? So she is changing women's lives. I can't wait to introduce you to Sherri. She's in the Marketing Matters Mastermind. Sherri, will you say hello to everybody?
Hello, everyone. Hi,
Um,
Ashley.
Okay, so Sherri, I'm so happy that we know each other. So tell everyone initially, like, how did you find me at the beginning?
Well, I found you. I was looking to get help on ads. I had just flew back from on a tour and a speaking tour, and I said, "This cannot be my life," because I have an 11-year-old son now, 12. He just had a birthday, and I'm leaving him, finding people to babysit when I'm gone, making sure he's up on his homework. I'm a soccer mom. It was just so much in traveling, trying to get new clients, because that's really what we're traveling for when we're speaking. And I say it has to be a better way, because when I add up all the, this is my mindset. When I add up all the flight, the hotel, food, and all that travel, I'm like, that's money I could pay in ads. That's how my mind was thinking. So I said, it got to be another way for me to run ads. So I started looking because but I was worried about having a agency run the ads again without not knowing what they were doing. So I started looking and I found you when at the Girls Summit was having a conference, and I decided I want to attend that conference. Didn't happen because I just came back from speaking, but they were talking about all the different speakers. So they had like Myron on there, and I started saying, looking, really going to each person's website and see what's their expertise. And let me tell you the word got me. It says she the female Russell Brunson. I remember that, and I said, "Oh, okay, that means she knows something about ads. So let me just go ahead and find out more about it." And I just kind of like binge watch you and stalk you.
Don't we all? Like, that's one of the perks of social media. It's like, let me actually decide how I feel about you by
Yeah.
looking at your content.
So, and then I complete your information on your website, and then we were DMing each other on a Sunday. And what blew my mind for you is you were messaging me live, not a bot, but literally speaking to me on a Sunday with you having young kids. And I was like, wow, wow. And as a person who has a business, has clients, and I'm strict on my boundaries, I'm like, wow, that tells me her character. So yeah,
Oh,
definitely love. That was an A+ for me.
Sherri, I remember when we were talking. I remember that Sunday. I remember, and my husband was like, "Who are you talking to over there?" And I'm like, "Sherri." I was like, "She is awesome. Like, she is perfect for this. She's grown this audience. She's helping people in this way." Like, I just knew so quickly. I'm like, "She is a perfect fit for this." And I remember, when you talk about that balance, like having boundaries, and you know this from working with me now, like I really do have the intention of not working on Saturdays and Sundays when I can. But it was one of those things where work in my brain, like talking to you was not work, you know? Like
Yes,
like
correct.
it like I loved it. I was like, I was so curious because I wanted to understand what had you tried before. And I remember you telling me like you had ran ads in the past. I think you had had a bad experience. Or maybe how would you
100%.
describe it? Sorry.
100%. So I paid $4,000 to someone. That's not including the ad spend. And I think I got one person. And I'm the type of person that if they say, "Hey, you're not spending enough, I would like, okay, let me double it. So I will, because I will do every single thing that you told me to do. So when it happens, I can say, okay, well, I did everything on my end that I know how to do. So it's not me, so, and then I hate to say this, but I felt like she ghosted me.
Oh no. Oh
Because,
no.
and because she was transitioning to something else and all this stuff. So but that was not the first time. And I said, I need to know if my ads is broken. I need to know what I need to fix. I couldn't even fix my own ads,
Mhm.
even if it's, what is the click-through rate? you know, so these are different things I didn't know. And if an ad is doing good, because it could be doing good and the money just hasn't started generating yet, right? And I
Right.
didn't know how to read an ad. And I think that's the most important thing. And one thing about me, if my funnel is broken on like the email side of things, boom, I got it.
Yeah.
But when I step into the ad space, I didn't know how to really look at my data. And we know data equals dollars. But if I can't read the data of my ads, it was like I was just throwing money out the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating because if you don't I tell people this all the time. I'm like, listen, I want you to outsource eventually. I just want you to know I want you to know what's possible and know how to even ask the right questions so that you can feel empowered that you are spending money on the right thing. And so I do feel like that is one thing that's different with Marketing Matters is it's more than just how do you set up the ad. It's how do you
Yes.
optimize it? What do you do differently? And that's one of the things that I love with you being in the mastermind is because you can come on and voice memo and be like, reporting live. Here is my data. Can I screen share? And we will look at it. And I remember, Sherri, you sent
Yes.
me, like you weren't getting like the traffic to the website and we were
Mm-hmm.
troubleshooting that. I'm like, you need time and you need real live human feedback to train your brain on what to look
100%.
for. And yes, it's in the training, but also that's one of the perks of having live support is like, teach me how to read this and what to do next. Because if you can set up ads, awesome. But if you don't know what to do next, like you're kind of lost.
And let me say this too, Ashley, like you, we have the ads and we have the person belief system around the ads. So you're
Mm,
not only training the mind of the person running the ads, but you're training how we are looking and believing about our own ads because
mm,
this is so new to us. So you're holding faith for your clients until your clients can hold faith for themselves. And I
mm,
saw that. And I thought that was so powerful because we already, as a person like myself, I was already coming in like, oh, is it going to work? Well, we don't have a choice but to work. But the idea here is we are walking blindly, right? Like we're just walking blindly, but we figure, but in anything in my mind, if you keep doing it, you don't have a choice but to command. Like something Myron says that his dad told him says, um, oh, it's going to work because I have a brain. The ads doesn't have a brain. So
mm,
I'm the one with the brain. So if I keep working at this ads thing, it don't have a choice but to command to what I say. Just like riding a bike. I'm the one with the brain. I got to keep getting on this bike and riding it until I figure it out. The bike will not beat me. It's the same way with ads. I stepped in and said, it will not beat me. I will figure it out. I have you and I have myself, and we have two brains here, and we're gonna make it work until so you just gotta keep believing and without having that doubt, like, is it working? When is it working? Have patience with it. And I think that's what I love about you. And I've told you that on Voxer all over again. I watch how you're with us holding belief for us until we can carry that same belief for ourselves. And you're so patient with that. And yeah, there's so much I can say there, but I know
gosh.
we're short in time. So
You're honestly, the example you gave is such a good one, Sherri, and it's about the bike. Because here's the thing, someone who had never been taught how to ride a bike, they could have tried to ride a bike and they could have fallen and they could have been like, I hate bikes. Bikes don't work. Like, because that's their experience with bikes,
hmm
right?
hmm
But we've learned how to ride a bike. And so our experience is like bikes are awesome. I think I shared that
yes,
story with you last night about my son and
yes, yes,
his frustration with riding his bike. And I'm like, the only way to learn how to ride a bike is to fall and to get frustrated. Like that's a prerequisite to like, now you might have amnesia after you've done it successfully. Like, can you remember falling on your bike? I can't. Because it was so long ago.
yes,
Because we're
correct,
good at it now. It's automatic.
correct.
It's actually literally automatic for us now, and that's how marketing can be. But That's why, in my opinion, that the belief stuff, Sherri, and the faith part, like having faith that it will work,
Mm-hmm.
it is an important piece of marketing, because if you don't
So
have someone
important.
who's like, hey, this is gonna work, here's what it's gonna look like, you will literally quit.
And it worked in the repetition, right? It
Mhm.
works in the repetition, like it has to work because you're constantly doing it. So yeah, oh, this didn't work, and you're not counting. Okay, I spent $1,000 and it didn't work. There's no such thing. You spend $1,000 to know how
You
to do it
learned.
this way. Correct. Exactly.
You learned what
Exactly.
didn't work. You learn, and also like a lot of the byproducts are like you get new engagement, you get new followers, you get future buyers.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes. There's no
all of it.
money wasted because you gain followers who may spend with you later on. And because it's not if, it's when. So yeah.
Sherri,
Mhm.
you have got to tell everybody about the uh the ads that you ran for your event and what people were telling you.
Awesome. So I'm in the space of insurance and finance. I work with women in sales and helping them build their credibility and cash flow without sacrificing their family time. And I do that through teaching them how to do one to many, mass enroll their ideal client. And every for 2 years now, I've had this event called Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference. So I knew I had to start running ads because I will put the pressure on in organic marketing. You can't, but as I get older, the energy of, we were talking about content creation is not the same. So I decided to run ads. And actually, I remember when we met in person, and I'm like, I have to come to it in person because I got to get and learn how to. And I'm sitting, but first of all, back up a little bit. I learned ads in July. Like, who's never done it themselves?
This is true.
Kudos to me.
It's been 5 minutes since you've learned ads.
So, so, so after working with you, one thing I want to say is everything you tell me to do, I may not be in class the next day, but I'm working on what you tell me to do. Like, and so that's the first thing I want to say. You have to be coachable. Let me throw that out there as a disclaimer.
Throw it. You have to be coachable. That's why I meet with every single human being before they do the mastermind. I'm like, we have to make sure that you're going to be open to new ideas.
And I remember meeting with you, Ashley, and I says, all right, I'm running these ads, and we are 30 days away from the event. And we're not even halfway sold. We're not even,
How
I'm
did
like,
you
Ashley, no tickets.
how did you feel? Like, how are you feeling? Describe it for everybody.
It is one thing to say, oh my God, to have whole faith. Remember, I just said you had a whole faith for me. I felt that my pride is going to get in the way. I felt that I was going to be embarrassed if people don't show up, and what does that do for my brand? And that's all that is going through my head. And I remember every time I tried to put some type of drop of doubt, your Voxer message would be like, and there are gonna be so many people there. Every time I try to think smaller, because like you said, fear and doubt, is the same. So
Faith
you can
and
have
doubt are both beliefs.
faith and doubt are both belief. So I can sit here and doubt, or I can sit here and take some action. So I remember, like, okay, we're 30 days away. I know Ashley said people wait to the last minute, but babe, this last minute stuff. This last minute stuff. And then let me also paraphrase. We had 30 days after I did everything she told me to do. She on top of that says, hey, I want you to run I want you to set up two campaigns, and I need you. And you wanted me to do a retargeting campaign. You want me to do is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't tell all the secrets, Sherri.
okay,
But yes,
okay.
I did have
Uh,
the marketing machine method. I
Yeah,
had to
correct,
follow that
correct.
strategy. Yes.
But my point here is, after I done did all these other things prior, not going to tell me to do more.
More.
But guess
Yes,
what?
more.
I did it. Guess what? I did it. I grabbed my videographer. I said, "Hey, drive up here." We created our content for using the marketing machine. And when I'm doing this campaign, I'm like, "Oh, Ashley told me to do it." So I got off class, literally got out of class, said, "Okay, is that what you want me to do?" I did. And even with all the fear, the doubt, nobody signing up, all of that stuff. And then your coach is telling you do more on top of what you just did, on top of the money. I'm already $2,000 in, and she's telling me to do more. But I did. I did. I literally did. And we did the campaign. And when we did the campaign, I would get, here's the other thing I want to say. Someone would send me a message in a DM that saw my video. "Oh, I love your video. When is the event?" Or a vendor would call and says, "Hey, DM me." Because most of my sales kept happening in my DMs. It kept happening me. A friend, someone called me and said, "Hey, so and so saw your video." And so all my sales kept happening behind the scenes. So if you look at my ads, it seems like the ads didn't do anything, but every single person who purchased claimed they saw the ad and
Mhm.
DM me. So even the ad itself, if you could look and say, "Oh my God, it wasn't working," but it was actually working. And from that, we were able to have a sold out event of 90 people.
So awesome.
Sold out event within
Sold
30 days of, of
sold out.
the
God,
actual event.
Sherri, you know, you told me that someone asked to like stand outside or
Correct. Correct. Because, like you said, people always wait to the last minute. So, and here's the thing: couple of people will call me and say, "Hey, I'm sorry I can't make it." And as soon as they say they can't make it, then they open up another spot. And then one lady says, "Listen, I have been seeing this ad over and over. I don't care if I have to stand outside. I'm getting in. I'm getting in." And she got in. She got in and paid in full. She got in.
God.
So it's just so powerful of the ad, because it becomes like, I don't know who this girl is, but I'm gonna show up. So I love
You,
it. I love it. I love it. It
you
took
know,
it took a lot of faith.
it took a lot of faith and Sherri, I can't I can't say this enough, but it just says so much about you because most people $2,000 in, 30 days out, the room's not booked, you've done all this work and then your coach says go re-record everything, go create a completely new structure, rebuild your entire machine. Most people are going to say no. Heck no.
Yep.
This stinks. It should have worked the first time. It should have
Yep.
worked immediately and they will stop. And one of the things that it's why you're number one, it's why you're so successful. But the second thing that I love about what you said is sometimes it doesn't look like the ad quote is working. And I want to
Right.
explain to everybody a little bit more. This is kind of nitty gritty, but do you mind if I share them a little bit more about?
Yes, please do.
So it's one of those things where I want you to think about it. The first time you find out about something, you're like, "Okay, I don't know who Sherri is. I saw this event. Let me just click on her profile." Like, you're not buying a ticket from her ad. You saw her, you're following her, you're buying a ticket, and you're following along. Well, now maybe you're following Sherri. And if she doesn't stop, I mean, she's sharing about this event every single day on stories, on reels, like she can't stop talking about this conference. So you're following along, following along, following along, and then you keep seeing ads from Sherri over and over and over again. You're like, gosh, she's so legit. Look at all these people. Like you're spending more time with them. Like one of the things that ads does is it shortens that relationship building time because it's
Yes.
building the relationship with them for you. And so, you know, you actually getting their attention, posting consistently, organically, organic and paid work really well. I know it's ads with Ashley, and I talk about ads all the time, but Sherri, one of the reasons I feel like you were so successful is because you ran the ads and you posted organically and you did your email
Correct.
list. And so people just simply getting so much exposure to you and ads kind of sped that up. It makes sense that they all made that decision in the last minute and that you sold out because you didn't take your pedal off the metal. Because most
Y-
people, when the ads aren't quote working and they're like, people are buying, but it's like almost like they're finding me and they're buying later. I don't know if it's the ads. And it's like they found you because of the ad. And now you're doing all this work behind the scenes that's hard work. You're staying top of mind and they're going to move forward. And it's so cool because most people would say, oh, it's not. So let me pause it. And it's like you didn't, you kept going, and then you had a sold out event and I had people asking you to stand outside.
Yes, but not just that. I don't even want to talk about this. Along with people sold out event, one of the things that we were able to do, we had the mayor there,
Oh,
and
tell him the
he
mayor story, Sherri. Oh my gosh. Tell him.
like, should we wait till
No,
we
tell it
had
now.
yeah, so one that was another thing that was going on because the mayor reached out to us like, "Hey, we're having this thing." And I'm like, first of all, how did he find me? And one of the thing is again, the ads when your ads start running, people when I finally got in contact with his assistant, he went and searched and looked because again, that's what people do. Your ads are your new business card, right?
Yes, they
You got a business.
are.
Your ads are your new business card. So people want to look, who are you? What are you doing? And here's this girl who's running an event in our local area, in our local town. And things like that doesn't happen here. People are flying in all the way from Cali. I'm in Florida and I'm outside of Florida, Orlando, which is like Titusville. It's a retired area, Kennedy Space Center. So there's a lot of times that events like this doesn't happen here. So this is like was like, whoa. And the fact that we were giving back to our community because we were working with the hotels and all that stuff. So he decided to present me with my own Sherri Summers Day on August 17th. I received my Sherri Summers Day from the mayor of Titusville. And I just think I literally still want to cry right now. And it was beautiful and all the hard work like literally felt like it was worth it. It was worth it to
You
have your
were
own
reckon
day.
you being so bold to do what you were called to do and impact the lives of the people you get to impact, and that you did something beyond yourself, but like brought business to the community. Like you were seen
Yes.
and recognized for that, and you deserve that. That's so special.
Yes. So we have it's a lot of faith that has to go on because you're spending money here. You're spending money before you even receive the money, right? So you're like, and you don't know
Say
if
it
you're going to
again,
break
Sherri. You're spending money before you're
when you
receiving.
receive the money. So, and you don't know if you're going to break even or make a profit, but you're walking all by faith. You're walking all by faith. And you start hearing from people, oh, right now nobody's buying. This is not the time. We're going through a recession. Nobody's showing up. And so all of this, so you got to literally block out all the noise and stand on your beliefs, stand on your faith, stand on what you know that you're called to do, stand on your purpose, and then surround yourself like people like Ashley who believe the same thing you believe. I think that I'm in this mastermind because you literally are the type of person that believe the same thing I believe because I'm always holding space for my clients. So finally finding a coach that holds space for me is a gift. It's truly a gift. So that's why a coach need a coach.
You just said so. I mean, everything you just said is so gold. There's people out there, Sherri, and I know you heard my story that I spent money I didn't have for my event. You spent money that you had leveraged for your event. We both did it. And we both now standing on the other side. And to think for a moment that we would have let not having money deter us from our purpose. Like, could you imagine?
And I want to say I'm spending money on ads. I'm spending money for the event, and that event was a $20,000 event when everything was
Yeah.
in a $25,000 event. I'm
Yeah.
spending $5,000 on ads, and I'm also signed up because I met you in June. So I'm signed up for a coaching program, a mastermind. So all these bills are going out. Talk about the level of faith. So all these bills are going out. And you got everybody's that's what Mark said you the other day, like, baby, you have to wait. Because all these bills are going out. So I'm like, who signed up for a mastermind 2 months before their actual event? Because that's money they could have in their head, they would have like they could use for their event. But when you don't know what you don't know, you have to invest in yourself to know.
Because it
You have
costs
to
you
invest in yourself.
more. It costs you more in the long term to not know.
Correct. Because one thing when you learn is skills doesn't die. You have to is you can nurture that skills and keep using it over and over again. So that's the level of belief that happened. But the level of belief turned out to after the conference was said and done, we end out with $106,000 conference. That was what we made at that conference in that one day.
That's so
Yep.
huge. That is so, so huge. Golly, that's one of the things is so many business owners, Sherri, the mistake that they make is they look 2 feet in front of them. And what I mean by that is they say, "Hey, I can't afford this now, so I'm not investing in it."
Hmm.
They're not thinking, "I can't afford not to." They're not thinking they like, Sherri, you can't afford not to have a six-figure day. Like, that's part of it. I can't
Yes.
afford not to have a six-figure day. You and I just lived the same story, it's just mine was 8 months ago. I paid for the coaching less than 30 days before my event because you don't know what you don't know, but you you saw so much further ahead of you. You
Yes.
said, "I'm investing now because the return is on the other side." Like,
Yes.
you knew it. And look, and there's this belief I have, Sherri, when I think about the most successful client stories and client wins that I've had, maybe you've had, there's 2 things in common. One, I feel like is there's a moment where you have to push your chips in somehow,
Hmm.
some way or another. You don't get there by only doing the free thing, period. If you're gonna just
Hmm.
download freebies for the rest of your life and not take your business seriously, you will not get there because you have to push your chips in.
Correct.
The other thing is
Correct.
you have to believe it'll work. And
That's it.
you believed in your mission and you pushed your chips in and you had a what it was a six-figure day.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes. $106,000 was our ending day of that day. So yes, yes, and
Sherri,
you don't know how you're going to pay the hotels. You don't know how because we had VIP day. We bought their food. I mean, we went all the way out, like literally went all the way out without knowing what our profit margins are going to be at the end of the day. But again, we did the work. We show up, and I think it paid off. And I cannot thank you enough. Cannot thank you enough. And I'm not thanking you for, oh, the marketing systems. That's great. I'm thanking you for holding space for and believing in me, even when there were times where I wasn't sure if this was going to work.
mm,
And I don't, and that right there is priceless. Like it's good. And I'm a person in finance, always talking about the financial and the wins. But if people understand, and I tell my clients this, it's not about the money you make when you work with me. It's about the way you believe and think after you work with me. And for you, being in the mastermind, it allows me to believe and think in such a high level. It's because I was always in this like box by myself, believing in this way. So that's why
yeah,
I if I miss class, I'm like I have to get a class, or I'm teaching because sometimes your class is the same time as my class. But I
yeah.
try not to miss too often because whether I want to watch someone do their ads or not, it's just being in that space and around surrounding people that believe in you why even if you're having doubt for your own self, because if so many people are believing, you don't have a choice but to believe, because the vibration around that atmosphere of everyone believing for you, you don't have a choice but that magnetic force, your own belief will start happening no matter what.
That
No matter.
that is what has changed my life and my business. It's putting myself in rooms where people thought and believed bigger things. I remember sitting next to people and they're like, "Yeah, I'm disappointed. I only had $100,000 month." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. What did you say?" I'm like, "You're upset because why?" And it's like, "Oh, there money is a byproduct of serving people well." And I'm like, "Oh, I've never thought about that." You know? It's
Yes.
crazy to think about, but now I'm like, it's actually not so crazy. Like, we're talking here and you're like, "Yeah, we did 6 figures and that's what you teach, so of course you did that." Like, of course, you were in your purpose, you serve people well. Sherri, I wanted to, ask you just a few more quick questions. One or actually, yeah, would you share there's one thought that you shared with me, and I loved that you did, and you were kind of just talking about how so many business owners that are successful, it's almost like they use ads, but they just don't wanna tell people they use ads. I mean, obviously, because you can see someone's ads, but most people I don't even wanna say most, but there are many people out there who are like, "The reason my business grew is because of XYZ strategy, not because of like, oh, no, it's because you just more people found you and you were investing in ads." Can you share a little bit more about your thought process on that?
Yeah, so I've actually, I was thinking about this. So, yes, I think it's a whole ecosystem, your ads, your messaging, your marketing, all that has to be intact.
Yeah.
But what I find sometimes the guru or people would say, "Hey, I made XYZ money using this strategy." But the reality is they made that money not necessarily using the strategy, but creating ads so you can see that person say, "Hey, I made this money using this strategy." When you come to their coach, their training, their webinar, the challenge, they're teaching you this strategy, but how you found them is through the ads. And the ads itself is what boosts their visibility for you to find them. So is it necessary the strategy or is it necessary the actual ads, and I'm not saying that this strategy may not have worked, but
Yeah.
their mission probably wouldn't have gotten further had they not been used in the ads. So we just have to be careful and vet people when they're saying something, because even me, I have used the power of organic marketing for so long until I'm getting burned out and I say this has to change. But me using teaching people how to enroll one-to-many and mass enroll clients, I have been using that strategy for a while. But I know using the power of ads increase whatever I made, it's going to double that when it comes to ads. And I think it's important for us to be honest and clear with people so they have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because you're right. It's not that there's a lack of validity in what they're teaching. It's truly that people found them. Like at the end of the day, it's you have to become findable, which is what we're building
Yes.
the business on because more people would buy from you if they found you, right? Like
Yes.
it's that simple. All right, Sherri, last two things is I kind of want to go back to the beginning really quick and I want to ask you what was it that led you to say, "You know what? I really wanna learn this marketing on my own, and I really want to do this program in particular." Like, what was there a when you were, like, weighing the pros and cons, was there any hesitations? Like, do you have any doubt? Were you like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do it because" like, how did you decide to move forward? And then now, how do you feel now that you have? Like, almost like the where were you versus where you are in just such a short time from, like, June to now.
Yeah. So I had no doubt that your strategy worked. No doubt. I had no doubt that the system worked. What my doubt was is in myself. Like, can I
Mhm.
learn this ads thing? Because it just seemed like it was brain surgery, right? So it was
It's another
more,
language.
it's another language. So it just seemed like it was brain surgery. So that's the first thing is we know it works, but can you teach me? There's a
Right.
big difference. Like, yeah, but you don't understand this brain I have here, but can you teach me? Right? It's
Yep.
like someone is overweight and the trainer is saying, I can help you lose that weight. Yeah, but can you help me? Yeah, you've
Me.
helped people lose weight, but can you help me?
Yeah.
But to answer that, what you just said, here's another thing I want to point out, Ashley. For a long time, I was told that in order to get clients, you have to nurture the heck out of them and you have to lead them to a whole bunch of emails and to make a sale. And be that it may, what you also have taught, and I want to really put this on record, is you can literally put an ads out today and have a conversation in someone's DM like you and I, and it was no nurturing that happened. It was no nurturing. I didn't get 10 emails or anything. You can make money like that. Because I think I became your client within like 2 days, had to move some things around, but I literally like 2 days. So what you have taught me that putting yourself out there, it doesn't always have to be where you're nurturing people, send them out emails, follow-up calls. You've shown me and taught me that you can make money faster by just putting yourself out there and being confident about who you are. And every time we even try to say, "Oh, you need to put more reels," it's you teach me it's not even about more reels. It's about building relationships
Mm.
once the ads is running. So you can get in somebody, you can run the ad, someone raise their hand, and you get in their DM, you have a conversation tomorrow morning, 6 figures is in your account or 5 figures is in your account just from that. And I think we don't highlight that enough.
That's so true, Sherri. I mean, we really did. We had a great connection. I immediately connected with you. We had a great conversation. We knew it was the perfect fit. I think we talked for a day or two, but
Yes.
it was a good full day or two, but we were going back and forth just really trying to see about each other. and we built a connection. And you're right. You know, it's so funny you say that because just yesterday someone messaged me and she said, "Hey, I don't think this ad thing is going to work for me." She was like, "Because my offer is too high ticket for ads." She's like, "It's $3,700." And I'm like, "Baby girl, I love you so much. I love you so much. I've sold a $25 to $30,000 mastermind spot with one message. Like, I promise you, it's not about how much is your offer for ads to work. It's, can you build a relationship and communicate the value well?"
That's it. That is it. It's not that is because the person like myself, we have to solve the problem, whether it's with you or with someone else. We have to, your job is just to show me that you are the expert to help me solve that problem, right? So you, that's what you've proven to me. And the fact that you are comfortable and patient and kind of taught me, you sometimes, I will say this, I love your feminine way of selling.
Oh,
Like, it's, I love your mommy, feminine way, wife way of selling. So your character to me energizes me and speaks to me first. That's why I said yes. It's because you can find other ads expert out there, but how your authenticity and how you will say, "Hey, it ain't gonna be easy," and I love that about you. So there's people who kind of guru and sell you like the masculine way when you talk to the person you actually care, like, "Hey, Sherri, I'm getting back to you," and I love that. Because outside of you, I don't have that because I'm the leader in all my spaces.
yeah.
So who does a leader go to? Who does a CEO go to when they need that space, you know? And
Yeah.
you can't go to anyone for that unless you invest in yourself. There's no way around that. So I love you.
I love you so much. You are such a good person, and you saying that means so much to me because, I mean, I told you at the beginning, this has not worked for me. I mean, I have said this prayer. I'll tell you, I've said the prayer. I said, "God, may not another woman buy who won't take the feedback and do the work and get the result." Like,
Mm,
I don't want that. I don't want anyone to pay me money and they don't do the work, they're not receptive to feedback, and they don't get 10x their money. Like, I don't want that. And it just, I know that you had a six-figure day, and we are celebrating that, and I am so proud of you. And it's like just the beginning. I can't wait until
yes.
we do a podcast a year from now, and you're like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I did have $1 million day at my last conference." Like,
Yep.
that is
It's
possible for
coming.
you. It's coming, and it's because of who you are and how you think. And the world needs more Sherri. And Sherri, I'm so grateful that we met. I'm so glad that we had that conversation on that Sunday. Um, Gosh, yeah, you are such a light. And I'm
Oh,
just so
thank
grateful
you.
for you. But you are right, everybody needs I mean, when you say that, that give me that feedback about, like, our selling conversation, I think, well, I also have a coach. I
Mhm.
have been mentored every day for nearly a year now on how
Mhm.
to have conversations in a genuine, great way, and it's just like everyone that you find that's doing something successful, they likely have a mentor. You need
Yes.
someone pouring into you and encouraging you, and being successful isn't the reason not to have a mentor, it's the very reason to have a mentor.
Yes. Yes.
Sherri, I'm
Yes.
so
I love
thankful
that.
for you.
Oh,
Will you share with everybody for especially for you if you're listening and you are in the financial or insurance industry and you don't know what Sherri means when you're talking about selling one to many and how you can do something different from everybody else who does what you do. Sherri, can you tell them where to find you and like what their way to work with you would be?
yes, awesome. So it's super easy. You can go to join Sherri with two R's, joinsherri.com. I have a whole Facebook group for women who are in sales and finance. And in that group, if you go to the guide session, there is tons of value of how to grow your business. And every month we offer a challenge that help you to mass enroll and ditch the sales calls.
So good. So good,
Yeah.
Sherri. Everyone go follow Sherri. Obviously, she is an incredible human doing big things, and this is just the beginning. Sherri, I'm so thankful for you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Talk to you later.